Now, is the system allowing non-UK residents access to NHS care unfit for purpose? A report by the Institute for Public Policy Research has found that some migrants are charged 150% of the cost of their healthcare, discouraging people from seeking treatment. Well, the IPPR's lead on migration, trade and communities is Marley Morris. I'm very pleased to say that Marley joins us now. Very good morning, Marley.
Good morning.
Well, before we get into your assessment of the way in which the system works, many people actually watching may be unaware of how the system actually does work at the moment. So run us through it.
Absolutely. It's a very complicated system. Basically, some migrants are charged at the point of use for accessing what's called secondary care, so care largely delivered in hospitals. And they're charged 150% of the cost of that care. And that system largely affects two groups of people. On the one hand, short-term visitors, who maybe just coming to the UK temporarily, and also longer-term residents who don't have a formal immigration status. And this second group is the group we're really concerned about.
So what are the problems that you've identified? We always think in this country of the NHS free at the point of delivery, opens its doors to all. If there's an issue, you can get into accident and emergency, but clearly some people don't share that view.
Yeah, I mean, basically what we've found through this research, we've spoken to people who have directly experienced the system, healthcare professionals and so on. And what we found is that the current system means that many people who don't have a formal immigration status are deterred from coming forward to seeking care. It means they delay their treatment, and it means it has to get to an emergency before they seek treatment. And at that point, it tends to be free for them to access care. And that can obviously lead to additional costs. It can lead to potential implications for their care. We've also seen evidence of discrimination where potentially some administrators within the NHS, because they can't go through every single person to determine whether they are chargeable or not, it means they end up using racial profiling, maybe judging people on the basis of their name, of their skin colour or ethnicity to determine whether they might be chargeable or not. So we're seeing really damaging impacts potentially of this policy, and we think that this is a time for really thinking about how to reform the system, particularly given we've seen that the system has had impacts during the coronavirus crisis. And has potentially implicated people who have not come forward to seek treatment because they're scared of being charged and of potentially having their details passed on to the Home Office.
So what then should be done, Marley? Because I suspect that even those who are very, very sympathetic to people being able to access our healthcare system in the United Kingdom when they need it, they may be rather less sympathetic if there's no financial contribution being made in the way that you and I do through our taxes, or indeed through a bill at the end of the treatment.
Well, what we've proposed is a system which says everyone who is resident in the country, who is living here, should be able to get that free treatment. So yes, if you're coming as a temporary visitor, then yes, it's fair for that to be chargeable. But if you're living here, if you're a resident here, if you've got children here and you've been here for many years, then we think it's only right that you should get that healthcare free at the point of use. And that seems to us to be the right system, because obviously the core of the NHS is that people living in the country should get healthcare not based on their ability to pay, but on the basis of clinical need. And that's what we want to preserve through our proposals.
Marley, just one final question on all of this. I mean, the health service, clearly one of the jewels in the crown, generally thought of anyway, one of the jewels in the crown in British public life. Is that a view that is shared by those who come to this country, perhaps seeking treatment, or people who are just coming to this country to live themselves? I mean, is the NHS as popular outside the United Kingdom as it feels like it is within it?
Well, I think the NHS is one of the great national institutions, and I think that's recognised by people coming here from all over the world. I think the danger is, though, is that people who may be excluded from the NHS aren't able to get that same level of treatment, and they end up fearing it because they feel that actually the NHS is something where they may be charged extortionate amounts because of their treatment, or they may, as I said before, fear having their details passed on to the Home Office. So I think this is really about making sure that NHS is able to be accessed by all people who are living here, and so that we can make sure that we can preserve that great institution for everyone in the country.
And Marley, just final question, sorry. What has been the change to the way in which EU citizens access healthcare in the United Kingdom? Has that changed just yet?
Yeah, so it's a complicated system, but yes, some EU citizens, obviously through the withdrawal agreement and through the agreement secured last year, can continue to access free care because we've got that e-hit card system which continues to operate. However, some EU citizens who, for instance, haven't yet applied for the EU settlement scheme and who are living in the country may start to feel that may start to be unable to access care themselves. I think that's going to be an emerging issue that we'll want to monitor quite closely over the months ahead.
Marley Morris, leads for the IPPR on migration, trade and communities. Great to have you on the programme this morning. Thanks for explaining.